And what's up, everybody? And this is Danny today looking at the GLAS.t made by Spigen for the Apple iPad mini. And many are familiar with the GLAS series for the iPhone 5 and some other devices as well. But today we're going to be looking at it for the iPad mini. And this retails for $57.99 on the Spigen.com website, their newly launched eBay website, and you can also get it at Amazon.com. So let's take a further look into it. The GLAS.t is a tempered screen protector that is different from your traditional screen protectors that you would put on. This thing is made of a sheet of glass with oleophobic coating, and it is available in black or white for the iPad mini, so make sure you pick the appropriate color when you go to buy one. Since this is a glass screen protector, it has really good anti-scratch properties and can take the impact of a cracked screen, so it is really worth the price. So let's go ahead and peel off this void sticker here, and we'll go ahead and unbox this thing and see what is inside, and I'll show you how to apply it. And the first thing you get is an alcohol swab, and I'll show you what that does. And you get some jelly home buttons in different colors as well. And you get some serial numbers here for warranty. And there is a squeegee for air bubbles and things to that effect. And look at how big this microfiber cloth is. It's an iPad mini sized one. Very cool. And here is the star of the show, which is the glass for the iPad mini. And you can see here, this is the black version, for I'm going to be applying it on the black version today. And so you make sure you pick the appropriate colors, for it does have color around the bezel, as you can see. And we'll go ahead and slip it right out of this plastic that it comes in. And there it is. It's actually pretty light. And look at how thin this glass is. Pretty unbelievable that it is that thin. So let's see what the weight and thinness would be like. And here is all the stuff that comes with it, and they all work in conjunction with each other. So let's go ahead and apply this thing. So first, let's take the alcohol swab and go ahead and clean this screen. For what you want to do is make sure the screen is really clean, and so we can remove the contaminants and oil and things that are on that screen before we apply the screen protectors. And this is a pretty good tip from me to you, is to go ahead and take the tips of your fingers and put the alcohol on there. And what that does is it gets the oil off of your fingers as well, for you will be handling the sides of the glass when you're putting it down. And if you do put some oil on there, it can make it to the point where some of the corners don't stick well. So let's go ahead and take that back protector off of there. And it is labeled back, so that's pretty easy to do. And it can be a little bit harder to peel off, but go ahead and peel that off and try not to create too much dust so dust doesn't go on your screen there. And what we want to do is line this thing up. And this can be a little bit tricky here because the glass does have color on the bezel. And if you look up top, the front-facing camera and the sensor there can kind of make it a little bit difficult to line up. So make sure you take your time when you're doing this. What I'm doing is starting at the bottom there and making sure that the home button is aligned perfectly. And then what I'm doing is kind of just micro adjusting with my index fingers there to just show you how I'm trying to place it by the front facing camera and those sensors, for if you do block those, and it can hinder the performance of the camera and the sensor up top. So that's what you do, and I think I got it. And there it is. So once you have it lined up, you go ahead and drop it. And what you want to do is just put a point of suction on there and just kind of hit it in the middle there. And you will just go ahead and watch it grow. It just suctions all over the side. And this is sped up a little bit because it takes a lot longer, since this is a big sheet of glass compared to the small sheet of glass on the iPad. And if you've seen my other installs, it is a little bit quicker. But I wanted to speed this up so we're not here all day watching it. But as you can see, it's pretty much installed there, and what you want to do is just take that squeegee and just work your way around it. And this did take me a lot longer than it usually does with most of the glass installs here. I've never installed it on a regular iPad, but this is probably the biggest glass install I've ever done for most of them that I have done on phones. But you're going to have to kind of work at this, and what I do is you can use some hand pressure, and that tends to work well if the squeegee's not working, but you're going to have to work at it a little bit. It took me about 10 minutes to probably get this thing down fully. And that 10 minutes included me putting a heavy object on top of the glass and just kind of letting that adhere and just kind of leaving it on there for 5 minutes. So go ahead and peel off the outer protective layer, and there it is. And you can see that it's a really nice install there. Those corners did go down. There was little micro bubbles in there, and what I did was I just kind of worked them out with my fingers and then applied that heavy object on top. And it was a book that I put on top, and it just kind of helped seal that area in. But you can see right there that the home button is pushed in a little bit, and I'll show you how to fix that. But as you can see, the top sensor and the front-facing camera, they do have cutouts for those, so you got to make sure that you get this right. And if you do, it really looks like there's nothing on here, and it works just fine, and I can show you that later in this video. So let's go ahead and address this home button issue. And what they do is they include the jelly buttons on there, and they work just fine as well. But what I suggest is you buy their aluminum home buttons that come separately, and they are $10. And they're very easy to install, as you can see right there. It just works with a little bit of an adhesive, and it just sits right in where the home button would be, and it feels extremely good. It looks elegant as well, and it makes it rise a little bit above that glass, and it just really feels good, and it makes it feel really tactile, and it also looks really good. So I really recommend it. So like every other glass product that I've ever tested, you can see that the clarity and responsiveness is really, really good. And sometimes I think that these screen protectors and the glass series really make the colors pop. And it makes it even look better to me, more clear. And just it glides on your fingers, and it feels really good while you're using it. And I think you won't be disappointed at all. And just in case you were curious, it does work just fine with the Apple Smart Cover. There is no loss in functionality at all. Now, you'll be able to feel it's a little bit thicker with that glass on there, but it does not hinder the magnets on there or anything or any functionality of the Apple Smart Cover itself. So if you have one of these, don't be afraid to put one on there. It works just fine. I think this is a pretty cool case combo from Spigen and the Apple Smart Cover. The GLAS.t really works well with the Apple Smart Cover. But this thing is really thin, and I really expected it to be thicker on the iPad mini, but you can barely tell it's on there. Look at how thin it is against that chamfered edge. You really can't see it at all. And the home button looks really good on there, and you really can't tell it is on there. And it looks really, really good. And I think that if you didn't pick it up, I don't think that you would really notice that it is in there. And like I promised you before, the front-facing camera works just fine on the iPad mini with the GLAS.t installed. I just want to show you from a side view that it is pretty thin, and I think that people that want to maintain their thinness of the iPad mini, you will not be disappointed. But where you will really feel it is when you pick it up, because that glass does add weight to the iPad mini. And the iPad mini is extremely light before, so actually the added weight is not too bad. But if you really, really like the featherweight of the iPad mini, then you will notice it for sure when you're using it. But I don't think it's that bad, and I think it gives it a good feel in the hand while it is on there. So what do you guys think of this glass series for the iPad mini? I think it's pretty good, and I think it'll be really, really nice for your iPad mini. But wait, let me go ahead and show you a scratch test real quick before I leave. And you can see the screwdriver here. I'm pounding the mess out of this thing and scratching the mess out of this screen protector here. And for most screen protectors, that would be definitely night-night for it. But this right here, you can see nothing on there. No scratches, anything on this screen protector. And that's great, especially if you're harsh on your screen, or if you're really harsh on your devices, or if you have kids, because you know that they will drop juice and things on there and scratch it and really just beat up your device. But you can see here that the oleophobic screen here too is really nice, and if you were to drop some minor amount of water on here like this, it just comes right off of there. Very, very cool. So what do you guys think? I think it's a good investment, especially if you are rough on your devices. For if you drop this, it'll crack the glass first before it smashes your screen. And I think this thin profile is really, really nice, and I think that people will really enjoy the thin profile on this glass. Please subscribe to my channel and watch my other videos, and I thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.